Hey guys, it's Kara from iStampin.com. Thanks for joining me on a bonus project this week. I am going to be featuring our paper and ink sketches number 5. So you can see this is the card that I made, and I followed the sketch pretty much to a T. So if this is your first time seeing paper and ink sketches, this is a bi-monthly sketch that I release to all of my followers on social media, my blog, customers, things like that. And then I show you the video of the card that I made using the sketch. So you can actually find this PDF on today's blog post. It will be accompanying the video, and I'll put the link to my blog post in the description box. So the products, being able to download this, to be able to print off, to get all of the correct dimensions and everything like that, that will all be on today's blog post, which is at iStampin.com. I do want to give a quick correction on the sketch. When you print it off, here at the very bottom, you'll see that the measurement will read 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. You need to change that to 1 3/4. So that's the only correction that you'll need to make. But let's get started. I wanted to show you, I am using the brand new Paisleys and Posies stamp set along with the matching designer series paper. And you can find this information in the holiday catalog. And if you flip on over to page 46 and 47, you'll see all of the items that come in this Petals and Paisleys product suite. So I'm using the Petals and Paisleys specialty designer series paper along with the coordinating stamp set. So like I said, that's on page 46 and 47 of the holiday catalog. If you don't have a copy and do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and would like one, reach out to me and I will be sure to send one your way as soon as possible. All right, the other items that you're going to need are these 4 ink colors, and I'm getting these ink colors from the collection. So you're going to need Delightful Dijon, Soft Suede, Mint Macaron, and Rich Razzleberry. And then the only other item that I used are the Rich Razzleberry enamel dots, enamel shapes that come from the Brights collection, and then some Very Vanilla cardstock and Rich Razzleberry cardstock. So I think that's everything, and I've done a lot of the cutting for us to make this go by super fast. So the first thing that you will want to do is to cut your card base, and I am just using a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, which I've measured, which measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. And we are going to make this a landscape card. And then I've already done all the pre-cutting. So here, let me lay this out. And like I said, you'll find all these dimensions on the sketch right here, which is very handy. So this one right here, this piece of Rich Razzleberry cardstock, this measures 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, and then the designer series paper measures 5 by 2.5. Then this cardstock measures 4 by 2. 4 by 2, and then like I said, this is 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then the very last thing is this piece of Rich Razzleberry cardstock. This measures 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then the Very Vanilla cardstock measures 3.5 by 2.5. And so I'm just going to go ahead and attach all the designer series paper to the cardstock. So you just want to have a 1/4 inch border all the way around your DSP. And then the same thing with this strip. Okay, and I'm just going to put those off to the side. And then what I did on my card, this is a little bit, you know, I just added this, it's not on the sketch, but you can see here, I used a few of the stamps from the Paisleys and Posies stamp set. Let's see, I used this stamp, no, this one, the smaller Paisley, the this medallion, the medium-sized little flower medallion, and then this little flower image here, just to give the cardstock a little bit of interest. I just kind of felt like it would be really plain if I just stamped the sentiment in the middle. So what I did is I just stamped that, and I'll show you what I did here. So I'm just going to scratch a piece of paper, and so I've already got all of my images inked up, and so I'm going to do the Paisley in Delightful Dijon, and I wanted it to be very, very subtle. So I'm going to stamp off twice and then stamp on the cardstock. So just stamp off twice, and I'm going to kind of come off the edge where it looks, you know, very organic, very natural, and just do 3 of those. Whoops. Okay, and then the next stamp is going to be the medallion, and I stamped that in mint macaron, and again just stamp off twice just for a very subtle image. And then it won't fight with the sentiment that we're going to stamp on there in Rich Raspberry. And then the last one is going to be that flower image, and I did this one in soft suede. And you can just kind of come in and overlap. You can use this one as the filler to kind of cover up some of those gaps. And let's see here. I think I'll just come in. Just come in like that. There we go. And I may do one more. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so the very last stamping that we're going to do is the sentiment, which says thankful, grateful, blessed. And we're going to ink that up in Rich Raspberry, and we're not going to stamp off on this. It's going to be full strength. And so I'm going to remove that. I'm just going to make sure that that is straight. There we go. How pretty is that? These colors are just so pretty together. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in our other pieces. And then we can go ahead and layer this on to the Rich Raspberry cardstock. And as a reminder, there's just 3 days left of my free shipping special. So if you have not taken advantage of that, I highly recommend it. It doesn't have to be on just holiday catalog. It can be on the annual catalog. So I just wanted to specify that. The only requirement that I do have is that you spend $69.95 to qualify for free shipping, and that has to be before tax and shipping. And you're going to want to use the accompanying hostess code, and I'll have all that information posted on the blog. And then the shipping rebate comes directly from me, so you will pay for shipping on your order, and then once your order has shipped, you'll receive a personal check in the mail from me rebating you on the shipping. So that's just my way of saying thank you for choosing me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And like I said, that ends this Saturday, the 10th. Okay, so if you look at the sketch, you can see how they have these 2 background panels layered on one on top of each other. And then this is just going to go in the middle just overhanging just a little bit at the top. And if you want to use dimensionals, you can. I'm just using snail to adhere all of this together. With all these layers, it's going to be thicker anyway, so I just thought just to keep it as flat as possible. So just make sure that's centered. And then the very last thing is just to get your enamel shapes in Rich Raspberry. Like I said, you can find that in the Brights collection, and these are in our annual catalog. And I just put a few on there. So if you just do a large and a small up here in the top right corner, and then I just put a small one down here in the bottom left, or bottom right. All right, guys, well, I hope you liked today's project. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm hoping to gain 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know that's a huge jump from where I've been, but I hope that everybody loves the projects that I do and will subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, so here's the stamp set that I used, and then the fun matching designer series paper, and you will be able to download this on my blog, or from my blog, I should say. All right, guys, have a fabulous day, and join me tomorrow for Stampin' 101. Bye.